troops, another day, another drain, and we're quickly running out of time, aren't we? 3 or 4 weeks left of the season, the river season, and once again the dreaded floods have hit. So there's no way of fishing up my neck of the woods. All the rivers are completely flooded. So a few miles from work, not far. Lovely Fenland Drain. Holds plenty of pike and the odd zander, hopefully, if they're around. And it's a lovely morning. Birds are singing. It looks like there might even be some sunshine today for a change. Dry the banks out a little bit. It is holding water. The water's chocolate brown, but it's not bombing through. It must have been running it off all week. It's pretty decent nick. Fishing in about 9 foot of water. I've got 3 rod approach as always. Right hand rod is a static dead. It's half a sardine. That's placed down in the margins first thing. First rod out, just get it out in the margins. After I plumb the depth, didn't know what sort of depth we were looking at here. I haven't fished down here in many a year, but to show you I was scratching around looking for the venue that's fishable. You know, up my neck of the woods, everything's flooded. So I've come down here, so I've flicked the bait out, half a sardine in the margin first thing, boom, while I'm setting up the other 2 rods. Always do it. The tactic that's banged me out a lot of big fish first thing in the morning. Just get 1 rod out in the margins. As long as you're not too noisy and make too much disturbance. The pike, they all come into the margins of a night time, and they're there lurking as it's getting light to catch fish on the patrol. So yeah, I flicked the bait out there, set up my other 2 rods, paternostered roach on both. One very small roach, hopefully zander. The pike love them as well, of course. And the middle rod is a roach about that big, 3 or 4 ounces. We've been fishing about 15-20 minutes. We ain't had an instant hit on that right hand rod, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's going to be it feels like a lovely day. There's a little bit of a breeze coming down, blowing downstream as well, so it's all good. I'm really quite happy. Hopefully we'll catch some pike, because as I say, we're running out of time now. It's it's getting the nitty gritty. Let me know in the comments below. Plan to get out before the river season ends, or is that it for you with these latest bout of westerlies? And we're going to get another load in 24-48 hours, so it's going to be really difficult if you like fishing the rivers to get on somewhere. But the middle level drainage board, they're called the middle level commissioners, aren't they? They do a very good job of draining the whole area from Kings Lynn all the way down to Ramsey. You know what I mean? It's, they do a lot of great work. And sometimes you can't, the waters are unfishable. They're bombed, then they're running them off. But very rarely gets flooded around here. So, without further ado, let's catch some pike, and some big pike at that. Well, troops, been fishing about an hour, and when they're running it off, I mean, it is tearing through it like nobody's business. It's really ripping through. So, don't know, I've adjusted my stop knots so they're slightly higher, so the rigs are not, the floats are not getting pulled under as much. But the whole bottom, that's not a problem. But yeah, it's ripping through. I mean, absolutely ripping through. So I brought 2 rods close into the margins. Hopefully the fish will be sheltering. Because it's ripping through at the moment. So hopefully it's not going to be a whole day thing. But for the amount of rain we've had lately, you never can tell. I mean, to me it looks in great condition as it was when I arrived, but they're running it off hard. You don't know what the water conditions are like upstream or downstream, so yeah, it's pumping through. So hopefully it won't affect the sport. We ain't had no sport yet, but when I first arrived, after I'd got my 3 rods set up, I have seen plenty of silverfish topping and movement, so there are prey fish here, so hopefully there'll be pike here. As I say, at the moment it is, well, it's like fishing a whirlpool. It's whoosh, it is pumping down. So still got the baits in the water. I've just boosted the 2 roach because I've had to recast them because of weed hitting them. And when the weed hits them, you think you've got a torpedo on it. So one sonar, you know, so it is really ripping through. But I say I've got baits, 2 of the baits boosted. The right hand rod, the static dead, has not been boosted yet. But when I recast that, I'll boost that with some oil. Hopefully get some oil moving through the water, attract some fish up. But yeah, that's a fast pace. So it was I didn't know better. I'd say it was a lowland fast water, a chalk stream. I think it is moving really fast. I mean, but hopefully it'll be a couple of hours pumping off and then it'll be back to normal, hopefully. But let's crack on, catch some fish. Well, that's the first one of the trip. I'm quite pleased with that. It's still running through like a lunatic, and I just flicked all 3 rods in the margin, and I'd only flicked it out minute, 2 minutes at the most. Let's have a look at him. Gosh, it's not the biggest in the world, but we're off and running. Very lively. Yeah, we'll get you back in a second, don't worry. Not much of a fight because it was so close in. I had it, you know, it's not the biggest fish in the world, so I had it in the net quite quickly. Lovely little fish. We'll get him back and hopefully get some big sisters on the bank. We're off and running. New venue, new stretch, and we've got a fish. Here we go. Number 1. Let's get... Nice gentle release, good as gold, off into that current. Well, it's midday. It's been, I mean, really just tugging through for 3 solid hours. It's slowed up slightly, hasn't stopped running off, but not as hard as it was. So hopefully it'll move about and try and go on the feed, because you know it's. So I had one tucked away in the margin straight away as soon as it started pushing through. We had an instant hit, but nothing since, and it's yeah, I mean, I say it's been bombing through. So it's midday. We've been fishing 4.5 hours. We had 1 fish, and what I've noticed on this drain is stops and starts of running off. So when it was about to run off hard this morning, ran off for about 10 minutes, stopped. Run off for about 10 minutes, not pushing through that, stopped. And then it went whoosh, like the floodgates were open. And in the last 10 minutes, it's been letting up, running. So hopefully it means the end of the running off for the day. But you never can tell, you know what I mean? It's not one of my local regular venues, so I don't know. But that's how it went this morning when it started running off. It ran off for 5-10 minutes, stopped. Run off for 5-10 minutes, stopped. I've done that about 4 or 5 times, and then it went whoosh. And I can tell this is doing the same thing when it's giving up, because the floats are really pulled tight by the current, and then also all 3 of them all come up rad, the water slackens off, and it runs again. But it's nowhere near as powerful as it was 20 minutes ago, half hour ago. So I'm hoping that we can get a few fish on. I've moved the right hand rod a bit further out of the margins, so it's holding bottom no problem. It's not getting hit by any debris. So it's just a case of waiting for the fish to show. I've boosted the baits with sardine and anchovy oil, changed the middle bait that was ripped to pieces by something, I don't know what. I thought it was debris, but yeah. When I went down to the rod, wound down, there was nothing there, but the bait come back, plenty of teeth marks in it, so a jack, or maybe it don't have to be a jack, it could be a big one, but Sags had it anyway. Run with it and then dropped it. It's all set fair to catch some fish this afternoon. I mean, it's one of the, when you're not used to a venue and not fished it regular, you've got to learn. It's a learning curve. You've got to learn its ins and outs, its little quirks and feeding spells and hot spots and all that sort of thing. So we've had one. Quite pleased with that. I've seen silverfish top in here. I've seen a big swirl out to my right about 9 o'clock, just as it was starting to run off, saying big move. So I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful. My baits work, my rigs work. I mean, that left hand rod, when that went with that paternostered roach, fish was nailed on straight away. There was no messing around. Is it on? I'm not going to hook. I have absolutely no doubts about those running water paternoster rigs. They nail every time. Static dead, I'm still toying with. A lot of people have given me a few hookup advice and stuff about hooking them in the tail, near the base of the tail, places like that. But my strike rate when I use the tail end of the bait is virtually zero. I never convert them. Hooked through the snout, I'm converting 75% of them, so I'm going to go with that and stay with that for now. Let's say we've boosted the baits, it's midday. Hopefully we'll have an afternoon of catching loads of fish. Well, I was wrong about that. The drain not running off anymore. It went for another couple of hours. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Plenty of cloud cover. Wind feels a bit chilly. Our fleece is on. Although the temperature's quite mild. It's 10 degrees. With that wind, it feels a bit nippy. So. Extra fleece on, lucky fleece on, change your hat to bring a bit of luck maybe, and so First time since 9 o'clock I've been able to move the baits out into the water. So I've got 2 mid-channel, 1 far bank, and because I've been hugging the near side marginal shelf the whole session, and we've only had the one. So I was going to say, it's been running off hard, really hard. It stopped running off. I've taken that opportunity. Don't know how long it's going to be like this, but when you get the opportunity, you've got to take it, haven't you? So as soon as that dropped off, bang, all the baits have gone out now to different spots. Say 2 mid-channel, left-hand rod's gone far bank, and we'll see if anything is around. You know, it was running off hard, good 5 hours, so hopefully that's it for the day, and we can concentrate on fishing a bit more water. You know, it really does restrict you on where you can put your baits and where you can position your rods, but at the moment it's all dropped off now. And so with a new venue, you don't know, you know, not a new venue, but a venue I don't fish that often, you don't know the little quirks I said earlier. You know, when it's running off, there might be a certain way to fish it when it's running off. They might not feed at all when it's running off. They might go absolutely potty once it stopped running off, and before, you know, they might want the bait up in the water or down in the water when it's running off. You don't know until, you know, you put the hours in. But at the moment, it's lovely. I've got the umbrella up, keep the wind off me as a windbreak. It's made it feel a bit more pleasant. And as I said earlier, we ain't got a lot of time left of the season. You know, we've only got three weeks left of the river season. So it's a case of really, if you're capable of getting out, I'm not saying, you know, I mean, it's, for some people it's difficult. Your local venues are flooded, or, you know, you've got ill health, or you just ain't got time anymore because of work commitments, whatever it may be. I know not everyone can get out, but if you can get out for the next week or two, if we get the conditions, you know, it's been tough all season. You know, I haven't had that many blanks. You know, I've been one of the lucky ones. You know, I know quite a few people have been out and had like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blanks in a row. I've been lucky. I think I've had 2 or 3 blanks the whole winter and autumn. So I've had a good run of it. I've had fish every go, really. Quite a lot of doubles. Nothing huge though. That's the only problem. Nothing big. No big hits either. No multiple catches. Normally, you know, 1 or 2 venues, or if not all the venues that I fish once a season, you will get on them and fill your boots, you know, and have a dozen fish in a session. That hasn't happened this autumn stroke winter. It's been tough going for everyone. It's been diabolical conditions in the water. Not too bad on the bank, you know, it's been another mild winter really, dominated by westerlies and lows, so hence all the flooding. But you know, the baits are in, they're boosted, they're good rigs, presented well. Let's see if we can kill it in the afternoon, eh? Well, we got an hour of daylight left. I'm in an hour in whether to stay all night or not. I mean, there are zander in this stretch, so it's quite mild. Got a big brolly. And the only problem is, snag wise, it's running off hard again, so reposition the rods, brought them all back in again, close to the near side features. But you know, this is the time of day, if you can, you know, your luck's going to turn, this is the time of day it's going to turn. There are no fish in it. So I've seen silverfish topping all morning. I've seen couple of big swirls. I know there's fish in here. I've caught one, haven't we? So we know they're around. So it's just a case of doing what we know is right. Keep doing it, keep bringing the changes, repositioning the baits every half hour, 40 minutes, and hope to entice something big to take. And who knows, when it gets dark or close to dark, maybe some nice zander as well. So we're still in it, but you know. Let's see if there's any zander around. What a beautiful evening. Let's cap it off with something big pike or a big zander. Morning troops, another day's dawning. Pretty uneventful night really. Thought I might have had one run about 3 AM, but could easily have been debris. I mean, the drain has been pumping through relentlessly now for 24 hours. Huge amount of water being moved. Water levels haven't dropped, so it's just a pure transit of water. Flood management. It's a beautiful tranquil morning on the Cambridgeshire Fens. I've got a funny feeling we're going to get something in a minute. Morning troops, well, we just had our first run of the day. Didn't connect. Really are. Well, that one was finicky bite area. It was playing around with that roach for ages. Just would not commit. You know, it's just toying with it. Weren't. I left it. And, you know, it's just moving the float around. Just like it was knocking it around, really, the bait, and no, it just wouldn't. Fish just wouldn't commit, just wouldn't go for it. But we've had a run, a bite of sorts. So, you know, it was a hard night, really. You know, it was a hard day yesterday, running off all the time. It was running off solid till 5 AM. It stopped running off now. It's a gentle flow to it, but it's not, you know, it's not racing through. It's a gentle flow to it. Got 2 rods in the mid channel, one on the far bank. I've been fishing the near bank for 24 hours, haven't I? So it's, you know. And we had a bit of interest, but that's all it was, interest. It weren't, you know, it weren't a fully committed run. It, you know, it was just playing with it, toying with it. Didn't take it. I wound down to see if it, you know, you worry about deep hooking and things like that, don't you? So I wound down to make sure, and nothing doing. So it's another day, another drain. We're back. We ain't left. And let's see if we can catch something today. I mean, it's overcast, it's mild, not much of a breeze. There's a little bit of a breeze, not enough to even put a ripple on the water. So you can see all the movement, all the line movement, all the float movement. I love it like that. But not much movement yet. So we're going to crack on. You know, so I haven't fished this for quite a few years, probably 20 years. So I'm not really in tune with it at the moment, you know. So the water's dropped all yesterday. I mean, it was pumping, I say, almost 24 hours, and the water didn't drop an inch, and it's dropped about 8 to 10 inches from what it was when I arrived yesterday. That's all. That's a hell of a lot of water moved through here, and hopefully they're done with the pumping for a while. We can get a few hours uninterrupted fishing in. Let's catch some pike. Wow, exactly the same time as yesterday, 9 o'clock, and they're running it off. Yeah, it's hurtling through like a, you know, it's just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Nothing you can do about it. They're expecting rain, so I've got a funny idea. It's going to be the whole day again. I hadn't planned on staying the whole day. I planned on fishing up to about midday, hoping to catch a few fish in the morning. But I know, you know, it's another trip beaten by the elements. I mean, it's not exactly the elements, but you can understand why they do it. They've got, I mean, they've got to prepare their flood defences, but God, they don't half mess with the fishing. Yeah, so it's running off really hard. So I've got all 3 rods in the margin again. And I'm hoping to nick a few fish in the margins before I go. That's all I can do. No point me wrapping up and going somewhere else. It's, I say, up my neck of the woods it's all flooded. All around here they're going to be running everything off. So that's another week when the rivers and drains are virtually unfishable. I mean, we've had a fish, you know. We've managed to get out on the bank. We had a fish straight away. Well, that was 24 hours ago. You know, and we've had one run since then at 3 AM. And when it stopped running off, we had a tentative bit of interest in a right hand rod, but the fish would not commit to taking that bait. You know, it was playing with it. So it's a beautiful morning. I mean, it really is. what breeze there is well above my head, so the drain's actually like a mill pond. You can see it, you know, as I said earlier, I love it when you can see all the movement of the line and the floats. You know before you're going to get a run, you're going to get one. You can see the movement, you can see the, you know, but yeah, I say it's just racing through, so it's a case of sitting here for an hour or two, margin fishing, and hopefully nick a pike that's sheltering in the margins, trying to ambush some prey, because you know, it is whizzing through now. So oh well, onwards and upwards. Can't catch, sitting here moaning about it. I've got to, you know, be proactive and see if we can winkle out another one. Another session we haven't blanked. We've done really well this winter with the conditions on the rivers and the drains been absolutely diabolical for the whole season, and we've only blanked 3 times. I think we've managed to winkle out a fish on every trip. Most trips we've managed to winkle out a double. There's a few where we've had a few jack blank savers, but on the whole we've had doubles every trip virtually, and only low doubles though. Don't you know, it's not, you know, it's not been a success big fish wise. Top weight 17 I think from one of my Boston waters, but I'm just watching a bit of debris going towards one of my floats, so I'm going to have to get up and, yeah, it's caught it. Go and move that. Well, that's the end of the session. I think I'm going to slowly pack up. It's I mean, we done really well. I mean, a lot of people have been blanking along here all season. It's, you know, the prevailing conditions in the water, the constant westerlies, the constant lows, constant deluge of rain, constantly been running off. People have really struggled along here all season. You know, a lot of people saying to me, the stretch is gone, finished, over and done with. I don't think it's that bad. I just do believe it's this ridiculously bad season we've had. And we nabbed one, you know what I mean? Once again, we didn't blank. You know, we got out on the only day off work you got, you know, well, 2 days, because obviously I stayed all night. But she'll kill me. But we managed to get a fish where a lot of people haven't been able to get anything out. Sadly, that run this morning, well, it wasn't even a run, was it? The pike was just playing with the bait. You know, it just wouldn't have it. That was the optimum time to catch another fish, when it stopped running off for 2 hours, that's all. So the 26 hours we've been here, this drain has been running off hard for 24 of them. So, you know, it's a little wonder we've struggled, but say we've wet our net. We didn't blank. I mean, in hindsight, I could have gone home yesterday evening, quite happy with the session, but I thought, well, maybe there's some zander in here. Maybe they give the pumps a rest at night, but no, it weren't to be. You know, it pumped all night, and it's pumping again now. It's not going to let up. So unless something mooches along the marginal shelf along here in front of me, I'm not going to catch. You can't explore the water, you can't try different angles, different distances. It's just too much debris coming down. So you can hold bottom no problem, but as soon as that's in there, it's bang, bang, bang. Everything's hitting it and it running it off. The bite alarms are going like one toners. But if you watched the video, I really do appreciate it, troops. Thanks very much, and we'll endeavour to get some big girls next time. You know, conditions are just not right, and we're quickly running out of time. Only got a couple of weeks left of the season, so back to drawing board. I'm gonna have to think of a venue where I think I can catch a fish, or where I think I can fish in flooded conditions, because next week's going to be a write-off again, I believe. You know, it's really heavy rain forecast tonight and tomorrow. That means whatever day I've got the week after is snookered. That leaves me 2 weeks of the season. Quickly running out of time. Thanks for watching, troops. Obviously, while I'm packing up, if I have a big one, you'll be the first to know. See you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.